In the peaceful suburb of Willow Creek, where picket fences lined manicured lawns and children played freely in the streets, lived a community that prided itself on tranquility. Yet, behind the facade of suburban bliss, a sinister force was at play. Mr. Harold Thompson, an unassuming man with a penchant for nosiness, had taken the art of spying to a malevolent level. Harold lived in a modest house at the corner of Elm Street, and his seemingly ordinary life hid a dark obsession. Armed with binoculars and hidden cameras, he meticulously tracked the activities of his neighbors. His motivations were shrouded in mystery, as he reveled in the sense of power derived from invading the privacy of those around him. The first inklings of trouble emerged when the Johnsons, a jovial couple new to the neighborhood, started receiving anonymous letters. These letters, filled with details only someone with insider information could possess, described their daily routines in an eerie, unsettling manner. The Johnsons, perplexed and disturbed, turned to the police for help. Detective Rachel Turner, a seasoned investigator with an uncanny ability to unravel mysteries, took charge of the case. As the Johnsons' plight gained attention, other residents came forward with similar experiences. It became evident that the quiet community was under siege by a malevolent force that thrived on creating fear and chaos. Detective Turner, determined to unmask the perpetrator, delved into the lives of the victims. She discovered Harold Thompson's peculiar behavior, his unusual interest in the details of his neighbors' lives, his constant lurking behind curtains, and the peculiar set of binoculars always within arm's reach. Yet, without concrete evidence, she faced a daunting challenge. The community, united in their fear, formed a neighborhood watch committee. Together, they tried to outsmart Harold, using decoys and changing routines to confuse him. The police intensified their surveillance on the suspect, but Harold was crafty. He eluded their attempts to catch him in the act, leaving only a trail of anxiety and paranoia in his wake. Desperation set in as the once tight-knit community frayed at the edges. Families withdrew into their homes, curtains tightly drawn, afraid to be the next target of Harold's malevolence. It seemed as if the very essence of Willow Creek was being eroded by one man's insatiable need for control. As the tension reached its peak, Detective Turner received an anonymous tip. The informant claimed to have evidence that would expose Harold Thompson's dark secret. Acting swiftly, the detective obtained a search warrant for Harold's residence. The police descended on Elm Street, their flashing lights cutting through the darkness. Inside Harold's seemingly ordinary home, they uncovered a secret lair filled with monitors, files, and a meticulously documented record of every resident's life. It was a chilling realization. Harold had been orchestrating the chows from the shadows, manipulating the lives of his neighbors for his perverse pleasure. Harold was arrested, and the community breathed a collective sigh of relief. However, their ordeal was far from over. As the investigation unfolded, a startling revelation emerged. Harold was not acting alone. He had an accomplice, someone even more elusive and cunning. The true mastermind behind the reign of terror had yet to be unmasked. Detective Turner, undeterred by the unexpected twist, intensified her pursuit of the second culprit. The community, now more vigilant than ever, joined forces to aid the investigation. With their combined efforts, they uncovered a web of deceit and manipulation that led to an individual nobody could have suspected. In a surprising turn of events, the true mastermind was revealed to be Mrs. Evelyn Miller, a sweet and unassuming elderly woman who lived 2 houses down from Harold. Her motivations were as perplexing as her actions, driven by a twisted desire for excitement in her quiet, mundane life. The revelation shocked the community to its core. Mrs. Miller, with her frail appearance and gentle demeanor, had successfully deceived everyone. The quiet residential community had been terrorized not by an outsider, but by one of their own. As Harold and Mrs. Miller faced the consequences of their actions, the community struggled to rebuild trust. Willow Creek, scarred but resilient, emerged from the darkness with a newfound appreciation for the strength that lies in unity. The ordeal served as a cautionary tale, a reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, and that true strength comes from standing together against the shadows that threaten to engulf even the most peaceful of neighborhoods. In a quaint suburban neighborhood, nestled among the blossoming trees and well-manicured lawns, lived a woman named Evelyn. She was new to the area, having recently moved to escape the haunting memories of a tragedy that had befallen her. Despite the picturesque surroundings, a shadow clung to Evelyn, a shadow cast by the loss of her beloved children in a horrific accident. Evelyn, determined to rebuild her life, decided to immerse herself in the community. She baked cookies and pies, bringing them to her neighbors' homes as a gesture of goodwill. Her warm smile and friendly demeanor welcomed everyone she encountered. However, beneath the facade of friendliness, there was an unsettling undertone. Evelyn's house, situated at the end of the street, had large windows that overlooked the neighborhood. Unbeknownst to the neighbors, Evelyn spent hours gazing out, particularly fixated on the children playing in the yards and streets. It started innocently enough, with Evelyn merely enjoying the lively scenes outside, but as time passed, her behavior took a peculiar turn. She began watching the children through her window with an intensity that made them uneasy. The children, feeling the weight of a watchful eye upon them, started sensing something unusual, but couldn't quite put their finger on it. They whispered to each other about the eerie feeling that someone was spying on them. The neighborhood's sense of tranquility began to unravel as speculation spread. Some children claimed to have glimpsed a shadowy figure at Evelyn's window, while others dismissed it as mere paranoia. Parents, too, couldn't shake off the unease that had settled over their once harmonious community. As the days turned into weeks, the whispers grew louder, and the children became more cautious. They avoided playing near Evelyn's house, and curious glances were cast towards her windows. The atmosphere in the neighborhood had shifted, and an undercurrent of suspicion lingered in the air. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a group of concerned parents gathered to discuss the peculiar events. They decided it was time to confront Evelyn, to unravel the mystery shrouding her actions. Together, they approached her house, their hearts pounding in anticipation. Evelyn, sensing the tension, opened her door with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. The parents, brimming with questions, confronted her about the unsettling behavior. With tears streaming down her face, Evelyn finally unveiled the truth. Her children, lost to a tragic accident, had a presence that lingered. In the aftermath of the revelation, the community rallied around Evelyn, offering support and empathy. It became clear that her actions were driven by grief and a desperate longing to connect with her departed children. The children, once frightened, began to understand the depth of Evelyn's sorrow. As the neighborhood embraced Evelyn, she found solace in sharing stories of her children. The community, recognizing the importance of healing, organized events to honor the memory of the lost ones. In a surprising turn of events, the children who once felt uneasy discovered that Evelyn's departed children had, in a way, watched over them as well. They shared moments when they felt a comforting presence, like a gentle breeze or a flicker of light. The realization that Evelyn's children were benevolent spirits brought a newfound understanding.